Okay, my friends, we're going to do a bit of good old fashioned multitasking because life is super stressful right now. And I guarantee you can relate to that. So let's dive into what it feels like, why we get stuck in it, how do we fix it? Let's just get less stressed together. Welcome to the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, a podcast dedicated to helping women navigate the emotional journey that is divorce. I'm your host, Erica, and if you're trying to figure out life after the big D, welcome to the club. Whether you're contemplating divorce or dealing with the aftermath or any of the many phases in between, the club has got you covered. Each week, you'll hear stories from women who have been in your shoes. This isn't about spilling tea on divorce details. This is about giving you the tools to take control of your own healing journey. Listen in weekly for advice, tips, and tools to help you move through each stage of the process. Welcome back to another episode of the Crazy Ex-Wives Club. I'm your host, Erica, and today is a solo episode. We're diving into exactly where my life is right now, which is stressed. Far too many things to get done, not enough time, and I'm finding myself falling into old patterns. So how many of you can relate to this, that little by little, we just add a little bit more to our day and a little bit more. We stay up a little bit later. We squeeze in a few extra projects. We just do more. It seems to be the natural progression of life. It's very rare to find that people do less, maybe when you get retired. But even think about like the whole concept of why we go on vacations is because we want to give ourselves permission to do less. We've built a very chaotic life that requires us to do more. And eventually, our systems tire out. Now, for me, and I hope you don't mind, but I'm 100% going to eat my breakfast while we talk today. That's how much multitasking we're really doing. For me, what was happening is I had taken on so many other things. I had gotten really good at managing all the plates that eventually my system just quit. My system was like, this is too much. We cannot continue to manage what you're creating. And I was really caught off guard because I didn't feel stressed, right? What do we think feeling stressed is? I wasn't overwhelmed. I didn't feel overwhelmed. I wasn't crying. I felt like I was getting everything done. I felt like I was really productive. Yes, I was tired. Yes, I wish that there was more time. Yes, I always had a never-ending to-do list that never seemed to move anywhere. But in general, if you asked me, I would have just told you, I don't know, that's just my life. This is just the level that I'm used to operating on. So it didn't matter that the level was super off balance. It didn't matter that the level didn't allow time for the things that I really needed. It was my norm. And so even recognize that there was a problem until, the other things started showing up. I didn't even realize there was a problem until the separation. So until that big catastrophic stress that sent my entire system into a fight or flight, really it sent me all the way into freeze. I mean, I had already been in a fight or flight for a lot of years. Do I stay or do I go? Is this going to get better? Oh, it's a little bit better. Oh, can I just continue to do more until he gets through his funk? Eventually he'll come back, right? How else can I try and negotiate and talk him into why we need to do things differently? Well, so when that big stress came up and I moved past fight or flight and all the way into freeze, my system finally demanded the break that it needed. And when I finally gave it the break, while not stress free, in fact, so much stress that I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, but I had to say no to a lot of things. I had to stop doing a lot of things. And in that pause, in that break, all the physical things seemed to fall apart. They finally were like, oh my God, you stopped running on high. Okay. And they all collapsed. I lost, I don't know, 30 pounds in under 30 days. It just disappeared because my whole system could no longer process food. My cycle was almost non-existent at that point. I was 35. I had no idea what was going on. Doctors weren't really helpful. My hair was falling out. Everything seemed to be giving me another thing that I had to work on, a thing that I had to fix, and it just added to the overwhelm. And so that's where I tell you that the pause of the separation was actually a beautiful gift because it made me slow down. Now, was it a choice? No. It made me slow down because I could not function any other way. So it made me slow down because I was so worried about how to get my marriage back on track that I could not watch TV. I couldn't read a book. I couldn't think about anything else. I was in an entirely unhealthy state of obsession, of fear based obsession, of, oh my God, I'm not safe. My life that I have is at risk. And I need to do anything and everything to get it back on track. Okay. Then we start moving through this separation. We're months into it. It really was by the second year. By the second year, I started to carve out space for me. I allowed myself to take naps. I allowed myself to go sit under the tree in the front yard in the afternoon when I needed to recharge for 15 minutes. On the weekends when I didn't have my son, I was doing things like hiking or going to the gym. I was refilling my own cup. And in that, I almost lost my ability to operate under the same level of heavy stress. Now, you might think that that's probably a bad thing. In the moment, when stress started showing back up for the first time, I think I thought it was a bad thing. When I was really getting into launching this business and launching this podcast, and everything seemed to be moving in different directions, I totally fell into the trap of blaming myself in that I used to handle so much more. I used to be on top of all this stuff. Why are these things falling through the cracks? Because I finally allowed my system to move into the space that it needed to be. And here's the cool part. Yes, that stress first showed up. Yes, it created chaos. Yes, it threw me all out of whack, and I had no idea how or why things were going the way they were going. And it challenged me to find the space in between. It challenged me to get clear sooner when things are out of whack. It challenged me to be very aware that, oh, this doing this much, being this productive isn't actually healthy for your system. So let's flash forward to where we're at right now. Where I'm at right now is I run the podcast and I also do instructional design and education strategy. So, I've spent 20 years writing training programs to drive sales and to help people thrive and be successful. And one of my skills is really helping individuals or companies get clear on the mindset shift and the behaviors they need to do to succeed. So, I took on a couple clients because I thought I had some space. So, like all good corporate clients, there's a little bit of scope creep. There's a little bit of delays in getting things out the door. Needless to say, the two contracts that I felt I could handle are both aligning in the same weeks. And so it's been very stressful. I mean, I think I've eaten out every day this week because I do not have the energy to reheat leftovers or make a dinner or even decide what I need. It has impacted my sleep. I'm still going to bed, but I'm waking up really tired. I'm feeling really drained. Last week, I finished the first hurdle and I was so tired I did nothing on Sunday. That's a really big flag that you are doing too much. I used to talk about living above the line. There are 4 quadrants of like productivity, and quadrant 4 is the one that always stands out. And quadrant 4 was about burnout. If you spend so much time putting out fires and handling everybody else's stuff that by the time you get to the weekend, you can do nothing other than lay on the couch, you're not recharging, you're not rebuilding, you're not taking care of yourself. You're kind of sort of dead to the world. That means you did too much. And so last weekend that hit, and I was like, okay, we got to figure this out because I got 2 more weeks to get through these contracts. And so where we're at this week is I realized that I needed to change some of my other systems to create less stress, which meant yesterday at the gym, I didn't lift weights. I walked on the treadmill and then I went and did some yoga. It meant that last night I knew that I could do 3 minutes of a guided meditation, of a breath work meditation, and get better sleep in fewer hours. It meant that last night after my meditation, my mind was no longer racing in the middle of the night. Sometimes when I get really, really stressed, I have almost like 3 trains of thought still running at night in my mind. I'm a very lucid dreamer. And so my dreams are kinda like another world, and I'm still kinda sort of awake in them. So all of these little signs were showing up, but I didn't wanna listen to them, right? I was like, "No, I can get this done. No, I have to get this done. No, I need to keep powering through." Now, the reality is, can I cancel any of the contracts? No, I committed to delivering a project that I will deliver. What I need to change is what's happening in the rest of my day so that I can be my best self and take care of me. We went out to dinner a lot, ate a lot of salads, ate a lot of grilled chicken breast. That's fine. I didn't have to cook it. That was one of the ways that I took care of me, prioritizing that meditation, prioritizing a more gentle workout. When it comes to stress, there's really two pieces. One, are you even aware? You probably have built such a high demanding life that you are not aware of the load. You know that it's a lot, you know that you're overwhelmed, but it is what it is. It's life. So your first awareness is like, "Whoa, what can I say no to? What can I pause for a little bit because I need to take back some time for me?" And then the second piece is, how are you replenishing? How are you filling your own cup up? Because the reality is the stress will never fully go away. I guarantee you I will take this on again. I will find myself in a place where I say yes to too many constraints. In fact, there was a third one in there. I was supposed to get the club, the divorce community, the membership, annual membership up and running March 1st. It's not going to be there March 1st. We'll talk about it today. It's coming, but I will do this to myself again. And so the lesson was to never let it get as bad as it was before. Stress is sneaky. It adds a little bit at a time. We don't even realize that we're reaching too far out of what we can take on until we are sitting on the couch, unable to get our grocery shopping done, unable to make our dinners, just like vegged out laying there, right? It's when Netflix is like, "Are you still watching?" Yeah, that's the overwhelm and burnout. So I want you to think about your own life right now. First of all, let's just acknowledge that life gets stressful. It is rare to live a life that doesn't have stress. In fact, in some ways, stress is good. Think about the sensors that we have. Stress, you put your hand on a hot stove. That's stress, right? Ouch, ouch, this hurts. If we never felt stress, we'd just leave our hand there. That is not a solution. So stress isn't inherently a bad thing. The problem is that we've let it take over every aspect of our life. The problem is that we've let it become so much of our time that we canceled the relaxation, the rest and digest. You may have heard me talk about this or you may have heard this before, but our nervous system has two parts, okay? It has the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. We have a fight or flight. Fight, flight. Stress has gotten so bad we moved into freeze, and then stress got really, really bad and we've moved into fawn. That is how our active nervous system seeks to protect us. It is how it handles the stress. It is how it fuels the adrenaline button. It is the go, go, go. It is the how do I manage all this stuff. And on the other side of that, our parasympathetic side, that's our rest and digest side of our nervous system. That's where we take long walks. That's where we enjoy a nap in the afternoon. That's where we meet friends for coffee. That's where we do absolutely nothing on a Sunday. I was having this conversation. Anybody else remember this? Growing up, Sunday was like family time. So we went to church. We got probably hot ham and rolls afterwards. I grew up in Wisconsin. So after church, we got donuts and ham sandwiches. And then my dad read the Sunday paper. And I remember being so bored. We were supposed to play with our siblings. I'm the middle child of three. Sundays were quiet time. We don't do that anymore. Stores are open on holidays. They're open the night before, they're open the day after. We no longer give ourselves the ability to shut off and rest and digest. And what happens? Life gets stressful. There's more work to do, or you need to stay up late to clean the house. What do we skip first? We cut back on our sleep. My first question for you is, how much sleep are you guys really getting? If I'm stressed, I know that I need close to 10 hours. As I move back into being more balanced, it shifts down towards 8. But the more stressed my life is, the more sleep I need. We cut that all the time. I guarantee very few of you are getting 10 hours of sleep. You're probably cursing my name because you wish that you were getting 10 hours of sleep. That was something I had to make sure I prioritized. I had to put myself to bed. Like, hey, it's 9 o'clock. You need to go to bed. You put your kid to bed. No, I went to bed, did my yoga, went to bed because I knew that my sleep impacted my abilities the next day. Food was another one, right? If I'm eating unhealthy, it's changing how I'm able to handle the stress in my life. So, our rest and digest side is lacking. We're not giving it the time that it needs. And it is something that we absolutely can create. We can carve out time for it. During my separation, because I could not change what he was doing, I could not, no matter what I said or how I acted, get him to decide he was ready to work on the marriage or get him to choose to show back up to what we were doing. I couldn't control those things. So all I could focus on is how well I could stay present and take care of myself, which meant when I started to get really, really emotional, really worried, when all those fear-based thoughts showed up, I gave myself approval to go lay down, put on a meditation or a guided app, close my eyes. Usually my hands were on my heart, right? Like soothing my parasympathetic nervous system, soothing the rest and digest. I might have gone and given myself 3, 4 breaks in a day. It just depended on how much soothing I needed to bring myself back into alignment. And when I got soothed, then I could go out and try and handle the stress again. And then I would get soothed and try and go out and handle the stress again. So we need to learn how to stand up for what our system needs and not forget that rest and digest. And there's lots of ways you can fuel your rest and digest. Movement, okay, so going for a walk, going to the gym, socialization, connecting with loved ones, connecting with friends, physical touch, cuddling with somebody, sharpening the saw, if you're a Franklin Covey fan. How are you reinvesting in yourself? Are you reading a book? Are you watching something? Learning to bake sourdough was a sharpening the saw. That was a reinvesting in me, learning something that felt really, really good. These are ways that we rest and digest. It doesn't mean you just have to go take a nap. It means you have to find a way that recharges you. And not everything is held equal. Sometimes I really crave social time and I'd reach out to friends and I'd go meet with them. And then afterwards, I just felt really depleted. While social time should fill me up, that social time did not. There was something energetically off about connecting with those friends or the activities that we were doing. And I would come home more exhausted. That was a flag. Don't do that again, Erica. That is not helping you rest and digest. Figure out a new way. And that's where for a while, my circle, I was very quiet. I stayed home a lot. I knew that I could recharge by going to the gym, taking the dog for a walk. I'd do multiple walks a day with the dog, watching movies I love, right? Getting a dinner that I loved, taking a bath. Yes, the alone time was often hard because you battle the fear-based thoughts. When you don't stay busy, those fear-based thoughts get louder. So we spend a lot of time avoiding dealing with it by keeping our life jam-packed all day long. And when you start to remove that, those thoughts start to come up. But then you lean into those healing practices. You lean into the journaling. You lean into the yoga. You lean into the napping. I mean, I napped before I meditated. It took me a long time to start meditating. And I'm not always consistent with it. And that's okay too. The key is when you see that your life is getting stressed, what are you adding back in to help you reduce that stress? So for me, this week, change those gym workouts, absolutely outsourced cooking. That stresses me out. I do not like to cook. I cannot wait for the day when I have like somebody who cooks for me. That's goals in life. But having dinner taken care of for me. Last night, I went to bed early. It was 9 o'clock and I was like, peace out. I'm going to sleep. I know that I need this. Prioritizing those things so that you are ready to handle what's showing up. How do you know if you're stressed? How well are you sleeping? Are you reaching for sugar in the afternoon? Do you look tired? Are you not getting all the things done that you want to get done? I don't think I know anybody that isn't stressed. It is just about learning what to do with that stress when it shows up. Again, stress can be good. You know, The 2 contracts that I brought in added, obviously, a lot of deliverables. I had a team that I was working with. There were things that had to be going back and forth. It created stress. And there was a day when I avoided it. "Oh, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I don't wanna do it. I'm not lined up. Ah, how am I ever gonna get all this done?" And then there was a switch that got flipped, and it said, "Ooh, but how good is it gonna feel when it's all done? How amazing is it gonna feel when I start ticking things off the list?" This is that value of sometimes stress can be good if we know how to harness it and if we know how to stop it from getting too out of control. So, yeah, that stress was great, but I knew it was out of control when 2 nights ago, 3 conversations went on in my head all night long. There was a song that was playing. I don't know. Anybody else get songs in your dreams? There was a song, I was singing a song all night. I was having a conversation about how I was gonna balance all the due dates and the projects that were coming up, and then I was actually, like, in a dream somewhere. Too much. I shouldn't have even let it get that far. I knew that it had gotten too far because I was feeling it. So then apply the practices. Move more heavily into a rest and digest. Now, I did a little rest and digest. Like I mentioned, I did the walk and I did yoga at the gym. I came home so charged. I tackled 3 more training modules that night. It's about how we allow our system to realign to then be able to handle the stress. And when you're in it, you guys, when you are in it, you cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel. You cannot even fathom the fact that I am telling you right now to go say no. Stop doing one of the things that causes you stress. I know that that just stressed you out. I know that that just made you feel like, but how am I supposed to say no? We need to take a look at your weekend that's ahead. We need to take a look at the commitments that you have. Are there any commitments that you can reschedule, that you can move out to a better time, that you can just say no to? Are there things that you have on your list that maybe you don't really need to complete? I wanted to make homemade granola long time ago when I was separated, small child, right? I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to make homemade granola. It was on my task list every single week. I think I moved that thing for 2 months until I finally just crossed it off. I was like, it is not a thing that you actually, need to do. It was, oh, it'd be fun to do. But at 2 months in, it's just causing you more stress because every week you move it to the next task and every week you move it again. Get clear on those things that you can let go of. Meal planning, right? Great. Plan the meals. If you plan the meals, while it's a little more work at the beginning of the week, it is less work every single day because you already know exactly where you're going. Favorite tip. Okay, you guys, productivity tips. I have a Google Calendar just for meal planning because in the event, when I plan the event for dinner, dinner's, I don't know, let's use the basic one, spaghetti and meatballs. I can actually link in the Pinterest recipe for the meatballs that I love. And so now, not only do I know what's for dinner, I already have the link tied to the meeting event so that I just have to open it and it guides me through exactly what I need to do. Smarter, not harder. So meal plan at the beginning of the week, make it easy every night. Otherwise, what happens? You don't have dinner, you reach for something sweet, you go out to eat, now your credit card bill is higher, now you're worried about stress, the stress cycle continues. You need to take a little bit of time, a little bit of proactive time back. So look at your weekend. Where can you carve out some extra space? What can you do for you? Is it a 5-minute walk? Is it sitting outside and enjoying if your weather's warming up? Get outside, get a little earth grounding going on. What can you do? Little by little, you start to reclaim that space. And then when the stress shows up, you're better able to handle it. You guys, stress isn't going away. It's going to be with us the rest of our lives. The key is to learn how to know when it's gotten too much and how to use your tools to bring yourself back into alignment. If you are feeling completely overwhelmed and uncertain on where to start, maybe you have been stuck in the should I stay or should I go for a long time. Maybe you finally asked for the separation, but now you're like, what do I do next? How do I figure this out? The club is your answer. So I am putting together and launching a divorce membership. This club, this private membership, is ideal for women in that first part of the transition. So whether you're in phase 1 or phase 2 of divorce, it is looking at if you are unhappily married trying to figure it out, or you're in those early phases anywhere from separation to the divorce is getting close to being final, and you're just trying to figure out, like, what do I really want? What do I want to build in this next chapter? Who do I want to be? I want you to come join the club. It's an annual membership. We have 3 calls every single month designed to support you. My favorite one, the after party. You may have seen some of the emails going out right now. In fact, I will be opening up the after party for the first couple Thursdays in March so that you can come join it. The after party, it's the space to be, to meet new besties, to network, to find other people who understand what you're going through. You know, one of the biggest challenges is our friends and our family try to be there for us. They love us, but they have their own stories. And unless somebody has been through it or understands what it feels like to have to rebuild, it can be really hard to get the quality support that you're looking for. So the after party is available to help you. Hot seat healing, we get coached. We get working through those issues, and divorce detox hour. You know, all this rest and digest I just talked to you about. I'm going to guide you through it every single month so you can feel what it feels like to finally reach that place of calm, of steady, of clarity. Then you can start to learn how to bring that into your life on your own. I've included my signature program on how do you get clear. So how do we calm our system? How do we get clear on what we really want? And how do we remove the blocks that are stopping us from taking action to be able to move forward confidently? And then my favoriteest part. Every quarter, you're going to receive a gift from me. They are quarterly healing kits. They are things that I have used along the way to help you in your healing journal, to help you in your they are things I have used along the way to help you in your healing journey. So whether it's crystals, essential oils, books, journals, the Crazy Ex-Wives Club podcast merch, they are things that are going to help you stay steady on your path to be able to move forward. I've dropped the link for the waitlist for the club in the show notes. I highly recommend you hop on that waitlist now. Anybody on the waitlist will be invited into the first 48 hours of pre-sale when, like every good pre-sale, it is at a crazy, crazy discounted price. If you've got questions about it, you guys come on over to Instagram, roll into my DMs, ask me what you need. It really is about building that space where it is safe to share your feelings, where we understand what you're going through, and you'll be given the tools for you to move through your journey in your time. You know, we can't make the decision for you. I can't tell you whether you need to stay or you can go, but I can teach you how you can become so certain in your own inner truth that you are ready to walk the path in front of you. All right, you guys, until next week. Enjoy. Again, check out the link, get on the wait list for the club down below. Oh, I've also included the link for the after party. If you want to join the free sessions, click the link below and I will see you there. And that's it. Another great episode of the Crazy Ex-Wives Club, a podcast for women learning how to heal from their divorce. Tune in next week for more advice and tips to help you figure out life after divorce. And until then, give yourself grace, do the best you can, and know that this is all part of the process.